Hello and welcome to another episode of Title Issues, the world's finest comic book podcast. As always, we're your hosts. I'm Ibi.
And I'm Benny. Today we'll be going over issue number 1 of Batman. This is the newest reboot that we've got so far.
It's a comic world and we're your guide, with passion and laughs on this nerdy ride. Grab your snacks, tune in, let's go. Welcome to Title Issues, where the comics glow.
The DC's All-In initiative brings us a supposed new starting point for anyone who's looking to jump into Batman continuity in comics. Just straight off the bat, did it feel like it was that for you? Did it feel like it was a good starting off point to someone who hasn't been following Batman comics, or maybe doesn't even know much about Batman and has recently gotten into comics?
I know what you're going at. I feel like, this might be a bit confusing to newcomers. I did like it. I do like how, subdued this issue is. There isn't that much action. You're not in this for the action. You're in this for some sort of characterization of Batman, you know?
Yeah, to basically kind of bring to light the subtext of my question to you, I basically was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? It really doesn't feel like this has any exposition whatsoever. It doesn't explain to us why Jim Gordon is not a commissioner anymore. It doesn't explain to us, what's the state of Batman's wealth, because he's not staying in the Wayne Manor. He's in a different place. Alfred is like some hologram or illusion or some mirage, something. It's not explained why Alfred's not there. These are things that obviously, as comic fans and readers, we understand immediately, right? We know what's going on. We read the last run and so on. But a lot of people that aren't caught up might not know that Alfred is dead. They might not know by the way, spoiler alert, in case you didn't know.
He's been dead for 6 years now.
Yeah, so a lot of people might not know this stuff, and for a reboot, I expected some level of exposition, or at the very least, to do what other number one issues have done, which is set the stage for a grand story that's about to unfold. And this one felt like it didn't hit that. And I think this is our fourth number one issue. There's the original Batman number one. There's New 52. There's Rebirth. And then there's the All-In initiative number one, which is the one we're talking about today. How do you think it compares to the other number one issues?
In my opinion, so the New 52 was a complete reset. And then there's Rebirth, which had Gotham Girl and Gotham Guy.
Just Gotham.
Just Gotham. Gotham Girl and Gotham. To me, this felt a bit subdued, which I kind of appreciate. As a Batman reader, it's like, okay, we're continuing the status quo. We're still going on with where we left off from most of the comics. I believe this is supposed to take place after Hush 2. But Hush 2 isn't done because of some delays, so they didn't want to postpone this. But this happens right after the ending of Hush 2, which we haven't gotten to yet, time of recording.
Yes. To me, I thought, the New 52 issue number one sets up the stage for the Court of Owls in a very nice way, introduces new characters. I thought it did that really well. Rebirth was not my favorite kind of storyline, but at least it does set the stage as well with Gotham and Gotham Girl. We see Batman make a grand sacrifice. We thought maybe Batman's going to die again at the start of this series, right? Which was an interesting way to kick off the Batman series. And he gets saved and he asks the same question we're asking. Is it Clark? Is it Superman?
Yeah, how do they have these powers? Yeah.
Exactly. And then we learn about Gotham Girl, which I felt was great. But then with this issue, all the stuff that's happening gets resolved within the issue, right? Everything that happened starts and ends inside of issue number one. So it did not set the stage or tone for anything to come.
But
that's how it felt like.
In this issue's defense, I feel like it laid enough groundwork that if you're reading this for the first time, if you haven't read Batman in 10 years, or you've never read Batman before, you're coming here from the Arkham games, or you're coming from the Absolute Universe. This gives you enough information to know what's happening here. Maybe not information about how we got here, but what is happening at the current moment and where we're gonna go from here.
Okay, I agree, but I want you to imagine for a moment this is like a pilot for a TV show. Okay, and that TV shows function like comics, okay? Because we know that it's not one-to-one equivalent. But would you have said that this is a solid pilot, where if you were going to green light a show about this, that you would green light that show?
Probably not, just because there's a lot of there's a lack of action in this chapter, in this episode so far, right? And it feels
but
like
it also doesn't do a good job from a storytelling perspective to lay hints. Yeah, like that's the part of it that bothered me.
I
The part
do
of it
think
that
I do
bothered me
think
was the storytelling.
I do think we did get a bunch of like threads, maybe not hints, but like
Fair enough, fair enough, and I think
story
that's what
threads.
this discussion will bring forth.
Yeah,
That being said, I feel like we are being overly negative with the things we chose to talk
you're
about
being overly
so far.
negative. I'm
That's true. I'm being really negative with the things I chose to bring up so far.
yeah.
That being said, I thought it was a strong issue. It wasn't a good number one,
Mhm.
wasn't a good starting off point to me,
Yeah,
but
It-
it was a
I
pretty good issue. That being said,
I'll concede that it was kind of underwhelming for a number one.
for all the marketing we got, like
Yeah,
there's a trailer.
yeah.
They released a trailer for this comic, so I had big expectations. I was a bit let down from the storytelling perspective. But let's talk about the new Batsuit because that is something I did love.
Yeah, honestly, the new suit was the art style in general in this issue was really good. I love the
Yeah,
details that they went with, and like I do like the new suit.
I
This
think
is
this is the first time we've gotten a blue bat symbol on the chest, like the emblem. I don't think we've ever seen it blue in comics before.
was it is it blue in the series?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's blue as hell. Just look at the cover.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's blue. It's
yeah,
blue
man.
as all heck. You see it in a lot of the other scenes, like as we discuss them,
The-
we'll put some up. It's very blue, and I think it's the first time that that's been done. It's
m-
always been black, or and yellow,
yeah,
yellow and black. Like, but I think this is the first time where it's just
for the
blue.
blue maybe.
I love the utility belt as well.
Yeah, like
Um,
I love how
heavy,
it feels very tactical. It feels very real.
it feels big, like
Yeah.
like when you go like, oh, Batman has all these gadgets for all these situations. When you look at that belt and how it sits on him, you're like, okay, I believe that this thing could hold that much stuff. You know?
Mhm. Very like I love the cape. I love the blue tints is blue and gray is my favorite Batman color scheme. That's like what I love.
Interesting.
So
I liked it in Hush, like the original Hush
mhm.
storyline. I don't think I liked it much outside of that design. I think it needs a certain style in general. You know, like everything has to match the fact that the suit is blue.
Mhm.
Yeah, does that make sense? Like I
Yeah,
feel like black fits easily in any style, but for blue to work, the artist really has to lean into other aspects of Batman to make it believable that a criminal would look at this and not like kind of chuckle. You know, like oh, this blue and gray, like
no,
guy dressed
you're
as a
overthinking
bat.
this. You're overthinking this. I think blue works. Blue works
Well,
everywhere.
I don't know.
Gray and blue, gray and blue. The man from Gotham wore the gray and blue.
Maybe I am also trying to translate things into live action because
Mhm.
we've had this discussion so many times about like what should be in the DCU Batman.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm trying to think of it this way. But you mentioned the cape, and I will say I'm a big fan of when the cape droops down onto the ground.
Yeah.
And has this like aura behind it, and this cape doesn't do that.
It doesn't. It does. We've seen
No,
scenes
it
where
doesn't
like
droop. You can see it there in the bottom right. It's like it hangs. It doesn't droop down, and you can see it in the top left as well. It's very like jaggedy,
no,
and
I feel like in the comic it did though.
no, it doesn't. It only does when he's crouching, right? But not when he's standing.
Maybe.
up, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, so that's something that obviously I'm a sucker for, like when the cape is like flowing down onto the ground. I love that look. So
Yeah.
that being missing kind of like hurt a little bit, but overall I'm very happy with the design. I really love the cowl. I love the shape and the length of the ears and all that.
Yeah. So this issue is written by Matt Faction, who you might know from. I know him from Iron Fist, the Immortal Iron Fist, which was a really good series. He also
Yeah,
did the.
I think I have that, and I always get them mixed up.
Yeah.
So I think I have that in my collection. I've read parts of volume number 1 from the trade back, but I haven't gotten through the entire story. But it is the only collection of Iron Fist that I have, and it was highly recommended. So
Yeah, it's probably the quintessential like Iron Fist story, right? And yeah,
that's
Matt.
what I've been told.
Yeah, Matt Faction's really big on like either doing like great psyche work or doing like complete action, and I feel like we're probably gonna get like great psyche work in this series based on what we saw in
Yeah,
issue 1.
so far, based on
Yeah.
what we've seen, there was, like you said, very little action in this issue. But that being said, it does seem like this Batman is extremely like agile and like violent. We kind of talked about that, you and me, when we first spoke about the issue. You mentioned that you felt like the Batman of this new series is a bit more brutal.
Yeah, he felt a lot more brutal than normal, right? He felt like he's done with this. He's done with what was happening in Gotham at this point, right? He's like,
Yeah, I mean, you kind of see it in like some of the action that does take place. All of it is fairly kind of what's the word? I don't want to say harsh because
Mhm.
that doesn't feel like it describes. But he hits these people with the car. He when he confronts Killer Croc, he has the electric gauntlets like ready to go. Even when he's talking to the two women at the park,
Mhm.
the way he talks about those thugs
Criminals,
that were
yeah.
there, like I can't remember off the top of my head what he says, but he pretty much goes like, "Ah, they're scum of the earth and they don't deserve
Yeah.
any good or whatever."
So like you said, not too much happened in this issue. The issue starts off with Commissioner Gordon, no longer Commissioner Gordon, Cop Gordon, who's a beat cop now, and there's an attack from Killer Croc, and that in turn triggers gets Batman to the Arkham Towers,
And
where
it's funny because you see like the his partner, like Jim Gordon's partner at the time, she's like, "All right, let's get into that." He's like, "No, no, no,
yeah,
no.
it was like, yeah,
We're just beat cops."
yeah, back off,
This is not
Espinosa. We'll
Batmobile.
deal with this later. You know, like this we don't get paid enough for this.
Exactly. And he's like, "We just call back up," and then that leads
Yeah.
us to like Batman.
Yeah.
showing up
So
outside.
Batman's at like Arkham Towers with Doctor Ziller. Ziller? Was it Ziller? Zeller.
Dr. Zeller. Yeah.
Dr. Zeller, who's like a new character at this point, right? And she's like telling him about like how Killer Croc like volunteered himself here and now he's escaped. Like we need to go stop him. And like Batman's first words were, "I'm getting pretty tired of this." Where it's like, yeah, this guy's like fed up at this point. And he's like, "Okay, yeah, we'll go." He goes after Killer Croc and he's flying over. He gets into his car and there's an alert for like some sort of like altercation happening with some girls. So he's driving there.
I do want to add like one thing that you glossed over slightly, but it's kind of like an important story beat detail, which is what Dr. Zeller tells him about Killer Croc.
Mhm.
Because they have a little bit of an exchange here, but she's basically saying that Killer Croc is, you know how like reptilian creatures.
Oh yeah,
like,
he's
shed their
evolving.
tails and grow? She says he's doing that both externally and internally.
Yeah.
So his mind itself is almost like regenerating and
Yeah.
like
Regrowing.
restructuring. So he's kind of like a kid again instead of being like an adult. So
Yeah.
he's not fully developed and he's kind of reshaping himself. And Batman's a little like taken aback by
Yeah.
that.
So Batman jumps into the car and he's going towards Robinson Park, where there's a bunch of there's an altercation happening there, like some sort of crime, and he's going to stop it. And as he's going, yeah, sorry,
Yeah, as he's going, we also get a scene, right, where we get to see Randall Savage, who's the new
yeah,
police commissioner.
yeah, Vandal Savage.
Vandal Savage.
Yeah.
Yes, not Randall.
Yeah, Randall's the wrestler.
Yeah, that's true. All right, yeah. So Vandal Savage is
Yeah, our new commissioner, right? Well, he's been commissioner for a while in the comics, but
for a while,
yeah.
but you kind of see him like have this like, I'm going to utilize this resource for my own means.
Yeah.
Like it's implied that he isn't like 100% clean,
Yeah.
which I thought was important for like a #1 issue.
Yeah.
Meant to be a starting point.
like he's been commissioner now since Joker Wars.
Fail safe? No,
No, previously, like since the Joker Wars, I believe.
maybe.
Maybe like yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we'll get to this, right? Like this comic keeps the continuity but doesn't explain how we got there.
Right.
So
Keep going.
as Batman's going to rescue the girls, he's in the car. He has a conversation with Alfred. We'll talk about this in the after portion. He goes in. He runs over the bad guys, stops the mugging or assault. I don't know what was happening there, but like didn't seem to.
Yeah, the
friendly.
women were like about to get cut up.
Yeah.
That's all I understood.
He saves the girls and then gathers some clues and realizes where Killer Croc is. Goes there. There's a cop there. He's about to shoot Croc. He stops the cop, gets them to safety. Has the cop called Dr. Zeller. Goes in, has a really good scene with Croc where he reaches out to him and talks to him a bit. We'll talk about this more later because I feel like there's a lot we want to talk about there.
100%.
And then has a touching moment with Croc. Dr. Zeller comes back. They take Croc back to Arkham Towers, and the issue ends with that. And then there's a slight teaser for the next issue where Robin's
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake is like getting held up by the cops. So this is the gist of the issue. Not too much happened there. There isn't that much action. There isn't that much like investigation stuff that's happening in the story. It's just cut and dry a story of Batman. Like it feels like Batman's been doing this for years. The story is continuing, and this is where we're at. What happens within these panels is what's interesting, right? Like
Yeah,
what they
because it is a controversial issue.
yeah. So
let's dive into
some
it.
parts about it. Some of us like it more than others, so we'll see where this goes.
Yes, we'll see.
Yeah. So the thing you really want to talk about, let's start with that.
Yes. So it's a scene where Zeller is kind of describing the changes that Killer Croc is going through, and she's calling him by his real name, Waylon Jones, and she's
Mhm.
like, Waylon's did this, and then Batman's like, oh, it's been a long time since he's been Waylon Jones, and I tried to disassociate Killer Croc from the man that became Killer Croc. It makes it easier when they eventually disappoint you.
Mhm.
Like again, he's talking about like trying to out to the villains to rehabilitate them,
Well,
and then
she's reaching out to that, and Batman's not having it.
yeah, because he's
Yeah.
been doing that his whole like
Yeah.
tenure as Batman, and so he's like, yeah, they disappoint you in the end, and then he says a line here that what he says something along the lines of I might not remember it verbatim, but he's saying that people don't really change.
Yeah.
People don't
People
change,
never
not really.
change. Not really.
Yeah, people never change, not really. Implying that like people might change, but they always go back to the way they were, or at least that people never change so drastically from who they are deep down inside.
Yeah.
This felt like a very not Batman thing to say. Um, I feel like I feel like the delivery. I understand what they were going for.
Mhm.
Let's just make that clear.
Okay.
They wanted to show that Batman is fatigued from his
Yeah,
kind
crime
of
fighting and like all the stuff that he's been going through, right?
exactly. So I get it. I felt like the delivery should have been something along the lines of I'm not sure that people can ever truly change.
Mhm.
Something like that to show that he's starting to lose hope in this concept and that he was being a bit more cynical about it. But the fact he just blatantly, made the decision that people never really truly change felt like out of character and feels like if Batman really felt this way, there would be a lot more that changes about him than what we're seeing, right? He
Okay.
would be a lot I guess his rules would change, right? Like, what's the point of Arkham Asylum rehabilitating? Like,
Yeah,
it'd be like, oh, there's no rehabilitating them. Let's just
yeah,
beat the crap out of them.
yeah, and
throw
kill
them
them
in a
or
prison.
whatever, right? See,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even killing becomes less of an issue.
yeah. So here's the thing, right? I had the same reaction you did when I first read this, and we have voice notes between us where I was like, "Yo, what? This is not my Batman. They're ruining Batman." But like on the second read, I kind of get what Fraction was going for here. Like,
Yeah, like I said, it's a delivery problem. It's not the notion that Batman's getting fatigued and that he's changed his mind. He's a dynamic character. He's allowed to, fluctuate or even depart completely from how he was. It it's just the delivery was not
how
the best.
you'd want it to be. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's issue number one.
Yeah,
We
but
want
like,
to show that Batman used to think one way, is thinking a different way. He's starting to believe, but to just go in like flat like that just felt like too big of a departure for someone who's familiar with Batman.
so here's the thing, right? Two things that I want to touch upon is that this is not painted as the right ideology, right? Like nowhere in this comic is it like, hey, yeah, people don't change, people never change. Batman should like start killing people. Like we're clearly going towards a direction where it's like, no, people do change. Like even towards the end of this issue, you see that
But
Batman's
it's not as much the issue is not as much like what is the message being delivered or message not being delivered. The issue is more like Batman feels this way at that point, feels unbelievable
Well,
to anyone who knows Batman.
here's the thing, there is this thing where like part of this issue is the other thing that I wanted to touch upon is that Batman doesn't fully believe that himself. Because he literally, this panel right after he tells Dr. Zeller that, hey, don't call the police, because if you do, they'll shoot him. So, like, he doesn't want Killer Croc dead. Like, like, he still has that part of him where it's like, oh, I want to save them. But, like, what he's saying does not match his actions.
Yeah, like I said, it's just delivery, but like the context is there to save the day, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like even what he says before, they eventually disappoint. It's building up to him saying that, so you understand that hey, this guy's obviously sick of their shit.
Yeah.
He's done. He's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm done with these people and how they often disappoint me and so on. So, okay,
Yeah.
understandable. It's not as big of an issue as people make it out to be on social media because
Yeah.
I've been seeing a bunch of stuff. I don't think it's that. It's not like
No.
oh, this is the worst writer in Batman history. No, it's not
Like,
at all anything like that.
It would have been
It's just-
it would have been an issue if this issue was it would have been an issue if this issue was trying to like convey it in a sense where Batman's actual like Batman's actually correct. People don't change. That would have been bad. That would have been like, hey, you're giving off a bad message that doesn't actually match the themes of Batman.
Absolutely.
But like, yeah, they're trying to like drag, like they're trying to take Batman to the point where he is more comfortable with allowing people, giving people their redemptions.
Yeah, and I think it was like it's meant to be like him reaching a breaking point in this ideology, like
Yeah.
feeling like I'm done.
Yeah.
And then something happens that brings him back, and that's the kicking off point of this title issue.
Exactly. Name drop. Okay, that's it. That's where we end. That's where we end the episode, right?
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. See you again next week.
Welcome to Title Issue.
Yeah. So we also get an image of like the new Gotham. Like this Gotham feels very modern. It feels very like futuristic.
Neon.
You know.
Very neon.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting for me the amount of like screens and tech that was there in the
Yeah.
city, because I always imagined Gotham as more like very
Grimdark,
Victorian
Gothic.
era.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gothic kind of like Art Deco style. So to see it like modernized is interesting for me. I didn't pay too much mind to it,
Mhm.
but when I went back to reread again, kind of just like admiring the art and so on, I really did not. I want to say I don't want to say I didn't like it. I just felt like
This isn't my
it was-
Gotham.
Sort of, I don't know. Again, like I'm talking about it
Yeah.
now because we're having this discussion. I didn't really care that much. I was like, oh, cool. Like this is the decision they chose to take. That's fine. It's a design decision. The next artist and
Yeah.
the next writer might completely change how Gotham looks like. That's happened a million times.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
What?
This is just not my preferred Gotham.
One thing
You
that
know
I
what
do
mean?
like about this is that Matt Fraction literally said that he painted out all the spots in Gotham. Like he actually sat down and like tried to design it and mapped it out, and he has he has a really good picture of where everything is in this Gotham, or in his version of Gotham, which I'm excited to see. Right? Let's see what.
Yeah, I've done that so many times. Like when I'm like reading something and like there's a lot of like movement. I always try to imagine and picture Gotham. I have a few different maps of Gotham. There's nothing like canon, like
Yeah, no.
strict, like there's a perfect map of
Yeah.
Gotham. But you know, some things move around and stuff like that. But I think that's super important. So hearing that he did that kind of gave me confidence that this guy was trying to do a lot more than just tell a story. He was trying to tell the
Yeah.
Batman story.
We also get like a few threads that we might get to later on in the story. Like, oh, LexCorp is making like armored vests. There's like ninjas going around from like a dojo that is unregulated. There's like other stuff that we might see.
This panel really reminded me of Spawn. If you ever read the Spawn comics, Todd really uses the news media as like his
Exposition.
vehicle.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and he has like multiple different channels that usually I think there's 3 or 4 that show up, and one of them is like a news reporting, you know, like Fox News kind of thing, like equivalent, where it's very like also opinionated and a little bit racist. And then he has another one. He has another one that's more like you know, hopeful and youthful, kind of
Yeah.
like talking about that. And he has another one who's like silly. He's like, you know, like fashion. He's always talking about fashion or like the latest trends and like very gossipy news. And it's meant to be like the E network.
Yeah.
So he has them, and it's funny because they give you like different perspectives on like what's happening.
Yeah.
Talk about it. And he uses them a lot. But what's annoying about the way Todd uses them is usually the block of text is like huge. So this is really cool because it's giving you a lot of information about what's happening in Gotham without like
Yeah.
huge blocks of
And-
text. And actually, you get such a large visual.
Yeah,
Kinda-
and it literally felt like someone's jumping channels, right? Like one conversation would start, and then the other part would cut in and
And it
just.
would like literally cut off.
Yeah.
The stuff would not be finished.
We see Alfred in the car with Batman. This is probably the one part that I'm not too happy about with this issue. This issue heavily implies that Alfred is not real, but like it doesn't say it. If you're coming into this without reading comics for the past 6 years, or if you're living under a rock and you don't know that Alfred died, this issue does not tell you that Alfred's dead.
Not just that, but it's also not clear about the Alfred that we are seeing.
Mhm.
Like if you look at this panel with them in the Batmobile, he has like a bluish tint, and all the holographic stuff that
Batman uses, yeah, like he uses the holograph with the butterflies later.
the butterfly, yeah, and so all of it has a bluish tint. So
Yeah.
there's also, if you didn't know he's dead, you might understand it as this is like hollow Alfred, and he's
Yeah.
there, and like,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
a
right.
projection. And then if you know he's dead and you're seeing this, you might be like, oh, is like this like
This
a
is part of
Jarvis
Bruce's
now, or-
psyche, right? Yeah.
No, I'm thinking AI, like or
Oh.
something like that, like a Jarvis sort of thing, where he's like this
Oh.
hologram that's like helping Batman through things. But there's also other parts where he's more like translucent and white, which
Yeah.
makes you feel like, oh, maybe this is just like like you said, it's in Batman's head.
Yeah.
He's just seeing him, or is this a ghost? You know what I mean? Like obviously, there's some things we know
Yeah.
aren't the case, like you and I and
Yeah.
a bunch of other readers. But like I said, it being a number one jumping off point. A lot of that might be confusing to
Yeah,
some
might be
to the
lost.
more casual readers.
Like I think it's heavily implied that it's like inside Batman's head, and it helps touch upon like how Batman's psyche isn't in the right place right now. But yeah, it's still like
I think the sentiment online I see often is people predict that he's AI.
Actually,
Like I see AI Alfred everywhere.
Hmm.
Like people going, "Oh, this new AI Alfred, new AI."
no,
I personally thought it was like a hollow AI
Mhm.
Alfred at first because of the blue tint,
Mhm.
but then there was a scene where he was like standing outside and it was white,
yeah,
and then I was like, "Oh, okay."
and
Like,
he also like refers to Batman as Bruce in on the outside in front of people, and I was like, okay,
right.
this is probably like inside
I mean, he
Bruce's
could
head.
still be like an AI Alfred that only Batman
Yeah, the
sees
only
AI.
Batman sees. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it could be that
'Cause
way, but
we did see that this suit has like glasses on that like he can use
yeah,
for
that
like
was
yeah.
really weird. Like, it
You
was
didn't like
interesting to
that?
see it that way. I didn't mind it. It was just interesting. You know, we're so used to like Batman has the white and stuff,
Yeah,
like, and he kind of like sees it like
yeah, like
through
those
glass
actual whiteouts are used as lenses,
and
but like,
lenses.
yeah,
Yeah,
uh, yeah. So again, we touched upon this earlier, but like this issue felt like yeah, Batman doesn't believe in change. Batman's very brutal. He goes in and just crashes into those villains, and he's like,
just
he gets
breaks
rid of the
everybody.
yeah, he gets rid of the other one in
Raccoon.
like short order, and he's like, "Are you girls alright? These guys are like the scum of the earth. Never worry
Yeah,
when I'm around."
exactly. Like even the way he talks about them, and he doesn't even seem concerned. Like he's hit them so bad that he didn't seem too concerned. Like I have to arrest them or subdue them. Like he was like just talking to the girls almost immediately
Yeah,
after,
they won't
which was
walk.
funny.
Okay, here's one thing that I really liked about this issue. Like this issue has for everything that I liked, it had something that I disliked, right? And it was like one thing that I really liked about this is that even though Batman's really brutal to the villains, he seems very nice to the civilians. Whether it was like the
Yeah.
girl with the cop or these two girls, where he was like, the first thing he said was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't able to get here faster," you know. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, dude."
Since we kind of spoke about the Batsuit design, we didn't touch on this, but what do you think of the Batmobile design?
It felt very
The
classic, but like
Batman.
also like yeah, it felt like the Batman, but like with gadgets.
Both the Batmans, like the live action, the Batman, and the Batman
Oh,
cartoon
I
animated
wasn't
series.
even thinking of the Batman cartoon, but yeah, it really does look like the Batman cartoon.
Yeah, it just feels like a more grounded Batmobile, like one that could
Well,
easily exist today.
yeah, maybe, but like this Batman has a lot of gadgets. Like this Batman has like you know how like after like Rebirth they tried to like strip Batman a lot out of his like wealth and stuff, and like he recently got that money back, and like he's been using this on all these gadgets. You know, like you can
Yeah,
see the cards like brand new. He's got like this holograph gloves, and it's like
but yeah, I thought it was cool.
then we get this great scene in my opinion where Batman sat there and talking to Croc, and the way I see it, it's like he sees. Okay, so Alfred comes in first. Batman was about to square up with Croc. He was like, "Yeah, let me use my shocker gloves. I'm gonna like beat the fear back
We
into
even
it."
get that scene that we saw in the promo.
Yeah,
Like, a lot of the promotion image is Batman with those like
yeah, shock gloves.
electrical
Yeah,
gloves. Yeah, shock gloves.
he said something along the lines of, "I'm gonna like beat the fear back into him. I'm gonna like strike the terror back into him again." And then it's like, "Wow, okay, Batman. I guess we're just punching people now," which isn't like
And the funny thing is, Croc is responding like a baby too. He's
yeah,
like, "My head bad,
yeah,
ugly now.
yeah. He's
I'm
like,
confused.
"You
Your head
bad,
ugly
so
too."
go," or something, right? And it's like,
Yeah, it was like it's such a weird dichotomy
yeah,
that was happening. I was like, okay, bro, like relax. Like, why are you so ready to fight? You know? But
yeah.
then, like you kind of said about the good and bad, uh, this scene is so beautiful.
Well, I
The
want before we start with the scene, Alfred is what kind of convinces Bruce to do it, right? He's like, well, Batman.
He
Bruce's
basically
perception
said,
of
"Look at him.
Alfred.
He's alone and scared. Doesn't
Yeah,
that remind you of someone, which is himself, right?
that was a
Like
good
those
line,
kind of
honestly.
like,
That was a
yeah, it
good line.
was."
I was like, yeah. He's
And
like,
then he's
oh,
like, "Okay, you know what? You're kind of right." And then he takes off his thing because I guess because Killer Croc made the comment about like, "Oh, your head's also bad.
yeah.
Get away from me." And then he takes it off and he's like, "Whoa, your head is different now. Like, what's going on? Like, who are you? You know?"
And like we've
Which
seen
is
this,
funny.
we've seen this before, where like Batman will take off his mask for kids, and like because Killer Croc
Yeah.
is a kid, he's like, yeah, you know, what? I'm not here to scare him. I'm here to like help him. You know?
This has always rubbed me the wrong way because it feels like he's playing so fast and loose with his secret identity.
Mhm.
Like, okay, Killer Croc might eventually remember this interaction and be like, "Yep, he's Bruce Wayne," and like that could hurt Batman in the long run. And then,
I
and
feel
then the same thing with the kids too. Like a kid can be like, "Hey, see Bruce Wayne," and he's like, "Wait, that's Batman." Look, the thing is, it feels like the way the comics treats Bruce, like Batman's secret identity being Bruce Wayne, it feels as the comics continue, feels less and less of a threat. Like it feels like Batman's almost ready to like,
let go, let people know that he's Batman.
yeah,
I but
it
like
really does feel like it's becoming less and less the case
but
that
like here's the thing. There was this TikTok a long time ago where someone was like explaining how like the comics Bruce Wayne isn't similar to like what we see in media, where like comics Bruce Wayne, there's no way Bruce Wayne would be Batman because of like how out there he is in the comics, right? That people can't fully like attach that. There's no way these two guys are the same, you know? Like, no way this
Yeah.
guy that goes around beating people is also the same guy that like dances at like clubs and stuff, and he's like half naked and doing dares left, right, and center.
But see, that's the other thing I was thought about is like, did no one ever go like, damn, like Bruce Wayne is buff? Or like, I don't know if you remember in the Gotham Knights video game.
Oh
There's a
yeah,
scene where like Bruce Wayne is in the iceberg lounge
yeah.
and he's like dancing naked, like in his underwear. And I just kept thinking to myself, like, what about all the body scars? What about all those like
Like it's
the damage?
here's the thing, it's to people that don't know, they see Bruce as like a reckless dude, but like Bruce has planned this. He's probably like put on like a ton of makeup just to hide as much
Yeah,
body scars.
that's been stated more than once, and he's also, I've read it in certain comics. I can't remember where or how, but he's basically also talked about how he's staged like car accidents, like really bad car
Oh yeah,
accidents,
yeah,
like brain injuries and stuff like that.
Isn't that how like
as well
Hush
as like,
starts, where he falls from his grappling hook and then he pretends that that was
yes,
a car accident or something?
yeah,
Or maybe
that's
he
one
was
spot.
skiing or something.
Yeah,
So
that's one spot where they did that, but like
yeah,
it's happened more than once where they've kind of like explained it off as like as a ski accident, car accident, something like that.
yeah,
So it is kind of like okay, but I still think like they are, you know what I mean? Like they kind of like, I mean, it's a
yeah.
comic, it's fantastical, it is what it is,
Like
but
to me, the way
sometimes it feels like they push it a little.
the way
This
the way
isn't one of those examples, but like the story, like the fact he took it off for Killer Croc,
Mhm,
sure. But I just mean in general, I kind of feel like it's treated a little lightly when I really like when it's the opposite. Him being outed as Bruce Wayne has not just tremendous consequences on his life and his loved ones' lives, but his psyche.
mhm,
Because to me, Bruce Wayne is the mask, and that mask is there to keep his sanity,
mhm. Yeah,
right? So if he loses that mask, if he's outed, then he has to be Batman all the time, and that would have tremendous negative impact on his psyche. And I feel like him and the entire Bat family wants to preserve it, and so that's an added layer of like, no, let's not, have his secret identity
okay.
get out there.
The way I justify this in my head, well, I'm okay with Batman revealing his identity to children just because that's a soft spot for Bruce. Bruce was there when he was alone in the alley. When he was alone, when he was alone in the alley, he did not want to see a 6 foot bat that just
Yeah,
hovers over you.
fair
He'd
enough.
want to see a human, right? And then,
Fair
like,
enough.
to him, that's how he wants. Like, that's what he would have wanted to see at that point, and like he's trying to give that to those kids, right? And to me, it's like
Right.
that to him. To me, sorry, to Batman, to Bruce, that's worth the risk of revealing his identity, because like his whole mission is to like make it easier for people.
Yeah, but is it like again, like think about it. You're Batman. You reveal yourself to a kid, so he feels fine. Like, is it? And then like your whole thing gets flipped. The whole world gets
Yeah,
turned upside
I,
down. Is it really worth it? Like, I
yeah.
don't know.
Here's the thing: Batman's not the same person. Batman wears a bat suit and goes out to fight crime. You know what I mean? Like that to him, it's like yeah, like Batman's not willing to let one person die, right? Like even villains, he wouldn't let them die. Like he'll do his best to save them. So
Yeah,
when
but
it
I
comes,
still feel like this is a bit of a stretch. I don't know.
yeah,
Like, I don't feel convinced by what you're saying. That being said, like, I get it. And
mhm,
look, there's always a suspension of like
disbelief.
that you have to have,
Yeah,
yeah, that you have to have with these comics and stuff. If you start to nitpick, like, oh, he revealed himself, it's like, yeah, well, like you said, it's a guy dressed as a bat who glides through a city and fights a giant crocodile human hybrid who's
a kid now.
shredding his skin and his mind, right? And I'm
Mhm.
nitpicking the fact he took off his mask. It's not meant to be super serious, and these discussions shouldn't be super serious. It's just still in my head canon and that continuity. It still feels like he should be a bit more like careful. Where like they were sitting and
Yeah.
then the doctor shows up and he's like, "Oh shit! Like I gotta put this on." Like, how does he know that no one saw it from a distance, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Like
here's the
it
thing:
just
like
feels silly a little bit.
yeah, it doesn't match your head canon, as Croc would say. Your head bad, you know, like
I could see you waiting to drop that line from because you kind of like went quiet and we're like just waiting for
like,
me. I was like, oh yeah, come in.
he's gonna say, he's gonna. Say. Okay, so you wanted to talk about this scene.
Okay, I only want to talk about this scene because I'm a sucker for these kind of shots in Batman comics.
Mhm.
It happened a lot in the Court of Owls, and it happens. It's being used here. If I was to ever direct a Batman movie, you would be fed up with seeing these kind of shots in it
Mhm.
because I think these kind of shots are always so telling of what Batman is. He's lonely, no matter how many people he has around him. whether it's the Bat family or others. He's lonely. Um, he's always in deep thought. He's always brooding, um, and he's also Batman. And usually in these kind of scenes, like, see, the cape is not doing its job here to me. Like, it should be drooped onto the ground.
Just for that
And
cinematic feel, the aura farming.
yeah, and then the shadow, like casting the bat shadow, which is like literally being Batman is a shadow on his life. It's casting on his life. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a dark thing, like burden he carries with him. And this scene is so beautiful. So what happened is Killer Croc gives him the doctor gives him a toy that he's been playing with of a dinosaur, which he compares himself to. He's like, oh yeah, I'm like a dinosaur kind of thing. So when he sees he's like, oh, doctor's gonna take me back now, get me help because my head bad. And then he's like, yeah, go ahead. And then he's like, but what about you? Who's gonna help you? And then Batman's like, my head's not bad. I don't need help. And then he gives him the toy.
He's like, if you say so, here you go. Like,
yeah,
I
if you
don't
say so,
believe-
but I think you got it bad. So
Yeah.
he gives it to him and leaves, and Batman just kind of stands there staring at it. And I'd imagine if this was like a video or something, that he'd be there for a while.
Yeah.
Thinking about, the fact he was like, oh no, people can't change. He's like, well, maybe people can change. And then, questioning himself, and then maybe even questioning like what he's doing, like everything again, like the loss of Alfred, blah blah blah. I just feel like these do such a good job, and like I would, as a like cinematographer, for example, I would start here and just zoom and let the scene sit. You know what I mean? Like, it would be uncomfortably long, so to speak. Like, just let it sink, and I would use that a lot because I think it's so telling of Batman. And every time I see it, it just like, it made me love the issue even more. Like, let's say I was gonna give it a 7 out of 10. This would make it an 8 out of 10 because I just love
just one extra point for this.
Yeah, I love these panels.
Yeah, and then he uses it. It's his trophy now, right? And
he puts it in the back cave on a little shelf, and he's like, "This is some trophy. Like, it's just a toy."
And the thing about this issue is that it is about change. Like, we see that Batman has changed from his ideology at the beginning of the story, right? Like, he was
his suit has changed. His Batmobile has changed.
Yeah.
His outlook on everything has changed. The police commissioner has changed. Like, there is a lot of change that's happened here, and I guess that's also marked with the number 1.
Yeah.
It's like symbolic a little bit to the fact that the Batman universe has just shuffled.
Yeah, and again, like, it's not lost on me the imagery of like butterflies in this story, where it's like butterflies are signals of change, right? Caterpillars that like grow and stuff, and it's like, yeah, Batman is growing, and I think the last
Killer Croc is changing
too.
Yeah, there's a lot of that symbolism, and from that perspective, I think that storytelling aspect of it is done phenomenally.
Yeah, and I think my favorite scene of this story is at the very end, right before the Robin scene, where you see the dinosaur and you see like a butterfly on its back, and it's like, yeah, like, we're in for a change, right? Like, Batman's growing, like, he's blooming. And then we get to the final scene with Robin and him at the alley, and he's like, hey, do we have any friends at the police GPD anymore? And he's like, well, that doesn't sound too good.
Yeah, and honestly, the first time I saw this, I really hated Robin's design. But then again, when I went back and read the comics and was like just admiring the art, I was like, you know what, the Robin suit actually looks great here.
This is Tim Drake, right?
Yeah, this is Tim Drake.
Yeah.
And he has the fact you asked is because he looks really young.
He looks really young, yeah. Like,
he looks like a bit like a cross between Tim and Damien. We know that this is not Damien's suit, but you see the utility belt is almost 1-to-1 Batman's utility belt. They have that same V line across like the front. I like the suit. I actually really like the suit. What I'm not a big fan of is like the de-aging of Tim a little bit here, and the haircut is a little bit odd. But yeah. I don't know. The first time I saw this, I was like, well, why does Robin look like that? But then looking back, I'm like, wow, individually the suit looks great. But
yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes, right? Like, there's a lot of plot threads. We'll see what happens with Vandal and Robin. We know that like Vandal knows that we know in the main continuity, previous to the reboot, that Vandal knew that Batman is Bruce Wayne. So I don't know if that's gonna carry over or not, right?
Right.
And
like Robin getting arrested is a huge part of it, right? If it's revealed as Tim Drake, then there's more stuff down there.
Does Vandal still have the Batcave? Like, he still owns like Wayne Manor and the Batcave, right?
Yes, I'd assume so.
Yeah, maybe we'll see what happens. Like, again, you're supposed to come in this not caring about what happened in the past. Like, they've laid the groundwork. Batman lives in Pennyworth Manor right now. We know that the police station is like we don't have that many friends at the GCPT. We know that like change is happening. We know like we know what's happening moving forward. shouldn't care about what happens in the past, right?
in the past. Yeah,
My biggest gripe with this issue, though, is we didn't get to see too much of the Bruce persona. Like, we didn't see Bruce at all, actually, right? It was just Batman.
we see him sitting with Croc, and then we see him at the end in the Batcave.
That's Bruce Wayne. I'm talking. That's Bruce. I'm talking about like the Bruce Wayne persona, right? The like where
Yes.
is Bruce Wayne in this? Like what like
Yeah,
what's happening with him, right? Like where are we taking his storyline? Because Batman isn't just the Batman side of it. We want to see like what happens with the other part, right? Like with his
Absolutely.
with his
Yeah.
public persona.
It's interesting that you noticed. I don't know. For me, I didn't really notice it. Like, I didn't feel like, oh, this was like an obvious absence.
Mhm.
But thinking about it, like you said, from a perspective of like someone's jumping in, trying to get caught up, like what's going on with Bruce Wayne is a valid question. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe pacing is an issue in this issue, but what do you think overall? Like, what would you score this on a 10-point rating scale?
I don't know. I feel like you said, it's a solid 8. Maybe like it's a good 8. Like I
I
feel
was
like,
gonna say for me 7.5, because I thought it was a 6.5.
Mhm.
Um,
and then that one
I'll give
scene
it
just jumped it
7.
one.
That one scene jumped it
Yeah.
up. But honestly, like that was my score. But after our discussion, I do feel like it is like I need to give it far more credit than I have. I do think it's a solid 8.
Like I think what it lacks is just enough action to hit someone in order to like come
Yeah,
back.
with that. It lacks being a good start to like an epic story.
Yeah.
It just feels like a beginning.
Yeah, it just
of
feels like
great
another
thing.
day in Batman's life, right? And it's like,
Exactly. But this is the day we're jumping into it.
Yeah.
Like day one of like his 1 million, but our day one.
yeah,
But I really wanted it to also be day one of this big story that's
storyline.
about
Yeah,
to
that's
unfold.
gonna
I
happen.
just love that, and I feel like that's what I wanted from an
Like you
issue
said, it
number
doesn't
one.
feel epic, it doesn't feel grand, but like it feels very subdued, and I kind of respect that. I kind of respect that they're not like
I respect that in a regular any other regular issue, but for
not
an issue
issue number one.
one,
Yeah,
yeah,
there.
it was missing a little bit.
Yeah. So, do you think you'll come back for issue number 2?
Almost
No,
definitely.
100%. That wasn't even a
They could have
question, right?
printed like hot garbage. And,
No, I wasn't asking you. I was asking the viewers. Like, do you guys think you'll come back for issue number 2?
if you're not reading Batman comics and then you
Yeah.
decided, you know what, it's back to number one and I want to read it, and you saw this issue, would you think, oh, this is really interesting, I'm gonna continue reading this series? Or maybe you would have thought like, comics aren't for me. Like,
Yeah, like
there's like a spectrum probably.
yeah, I'm interested. If like you're on YouTube and you saw this video and you're like, oh, I want to like see what this new Batman number 1 is, and you don't know anything about this, would you ever come back to this again? Like, would you come back to issue number 2? I'm leaving this to the commenters. We'll see if we get any comments back for this.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments below. We'd love
Yeah.
to have that discussion with you guys and see your thoughts on it.
Awesome.
That being said, thank you for watching the video. Remember to leave us a comment.
Yeah,
Let us know what
do
you
all
think.
the YouTube things. Comment, like,
Yeah,
subscribe.
like,
Yeah.
subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Yeah.
We took a little bit of a break, but we're back now, and hopefully we're gonna get back into the
Just
the grind. And yeah, we've so much to talk about, and we're super excited about it all.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Take care.
Welcome to Title Issues, where the comics glow.